Action. I'm sure you have done some research about Isiolo Community Development Trust. You know its objectives. How do you think that your experience, your interest align with the objectives of the Isiolo Community Development Trust? How do you think that your experience, your education aligns to the objectives of the Isiolo Community Development Trust? Over.
Thank you so much. Isiolo Community Trust
That's the
yeah.
Oh, okay. The objectives of Isiolo Community Development Trust are somewhere, and we believe that you have researched on it. How do you think that your experience aligns to those objectives? Your experience and your education aligns to those objectives. Over. Are you through? Are you done with the question? With the answer?
Yes.
Okay, fine. You are now a very busy man, regional manager, looking at various interests. How will you create time to serve we the people of Isiolo? How will you create time to serve us? Or if you are given this job, or if you are given this task to sit on the board? Thank you very much. I want to hand you over to Dr. Ido here so that Dr. Ido can ask you some questions.
Good afternoon, Abdinur. My question regards with development priorities in Isiolo. Can you mention about 3 development priorities that are needed in Isiolo?
Jilo,
people who will qualify to get job scholarship to get exam to study at
we want to bring you.
the
Can you hear me? We want to bring you back to the question. The issue is
Okay.
the issue is what should be the development priorities, not what has been done, but what should be the development priorities in Isiolo County. The development priorities. We have mentioned.
Sorry, I would repeat that. Sorry, I haven't heard you. Could you kindly repeat?
Yes, what we are asking you is that the question you're being asked is mention 3 development priorities in Isiolo County. Mention 3 development priorities.
Thank you, Abdinur. My second question regards development of people-driven development or achievement of people-driven development. How would you propose that Isiolo achieves people-driven development? That Isiolo achieves people-driven development. The last question from me is about achievement in Isiolo the last 5 years. Can you mention at least 3 major development achievements in Isiolo in the last 3 years? Thank you very much.
Just don't worry, you can, it will pick from there, don't worry.
Okay. Mohammed Noor, Abdul, thank you for showing interest. And you mentioned that you are mentoring young people, and mentorship is leadership. So thank you for that. So what is your leadership style? Your leadership style. Equatorial. Dictatorial.
Is it dictatorial?
You said equatorial or did you say friendly or equatorial or dictatorial?
Dictatorial. And dictatorship which is a friend.
The second question is, for this trust, if you are given the job, you'll have to develop, the Board of Trustees will have to develop a vision. And this vision has to be communicated. How should it?
I'm sorry, your voice. We can't hear you.
Okay, you are familiar with the vision because you have operations manager whose vision of success is to rise above something. Now for this trust, we need to develop a vision and then communicate it to the stakeholders. How do you propose that we will do this? Okay, the question is, the trust will develop a vision and communicate it to the stakeholders. How can this be done?
How can
How can it be developed and communicated to the stakeholders? Hello?
Your question was how can the vision be evolved and communicated to the rest regimes?
Yes, yes. Thank you. The final question is, which boards have you served in the last 10 years? And mention 2 lessons that you bring to.
Which boards have you served on? Which boards? Don't worry about the last 10 years. Just which boards have you served on?
The question is, which boards have you served in? Have you served in? Have you served in any board, maybe of a secondary school, any CSOs, any?
There's something you can
Give him time, Mark. Huh?
I must admit that part, but I'm sure you're asking.
Yes, I'm asking, there are different boards, maybe at national level, at even community level, the board of management, the board of governors, the board of directors. Have you served in any of such boards? Thank you.
Abdinur, I have a question for you too on partnerships. The question is, what are some of the development partners or actors in Isiolo that you think should be considered for partnering for sustainable development? Asking which partners in Isiolo would you consider for partnering so that you achieve sustainable development agenda? The next question is on challenges of resource mobilization in the development sector. Challenges, and then how would you address them if you are to end a resource mobilization committee in the board? Abdinur.
We are at his mercy or we are at the mercy of the technology.
Abdinur Mohammed.
Tunakuona kama anasoma answers ama anafanya nini.
You to ask the question again.
Okay. I'm asking, what are the challenges in resource mobilization in the development sector? And how would you address those challenges if you were to end a resource mobilization committee in the board?
Can you get the question? Are you able to hear? Fred, did you get the question? Fred, are you also frozen? Looks like.
I'm okay.
Thank God we only have one person. If we had more than torture. Absolutely. Okay. Fred, are you able to hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
What do you think is happening on our candidate side? Do we ask him to switch off the video?
Yes, he's trying to join again, so must have been a network issue.
Mwambie ametuachia tu sura yake.
What?
You heard the question, Fred. Can you ask him the question? Fred, can you? Can you ask him that question for us, just in case you might be better because you're in the same space?
But I think it's back. I see he's using a different device, so it should be okay. Please confirm.
That's what.
Yes, I'm asking. Abdinur, I'm asking, what are the challenges of resource mobilization in the development sector?
Switch off one device. because you appear to be on two devices, switch off the earlier one. We can see the latest one, but switch off the earlier one. Yeah, hapo kwa hii hapo tu. Wewe ulikuwa unaweka on wakati wa mkutano na unaenda unafanya vitu zako. Wewe nakujua napika ugali. Wewe nakujua.
Kirudi watu walitoka wafa na wao.
Alafu kurudi naambia vile umechoka.
Ameenda.
Simulisema atoke.
Ulimwambia atoke.
Mbea switch kwa hii ingine ilikuwa ya kwanza kwa sababu alikuwa anaanza mbili
Switch moja na yeye akaswitch. Are you getting? So he tried to remove him through one na yeye akajitoa in the other one. I know you will join.
Sasa mtoa unaweza kumtoa?
So nimemtoa na yeye akajitoa kwa ile
Nimelewa.
Mbona baada hapo kwa screen?
Ajaribu kurudi.
Yeah,
sasa hayuko kwa eni so atajaribu.
Na hii screen amekwama hapo aje. Si umtoe. Si umtoe manually.
I realized he has problem with his connection. I stopped his feed on the screen.
So how do you get
If
it
you
out?
disconnect him, he will try to reconnect.
Yes.
So disconnect him ndio ajaribu kurudi.
No, the screen to in the meantime.
Ametuma upepo kuharas. Unamuuliza maswali ngumu. Unauliza maswali magumu alafu unataka
So hiyo ilikuanga myth ama ni some truth ni mtu anaweza kukutumia upepo.
sio.
Na vipawa. Na vipawa. Naambiwa ngoja utaona.
This is very difficult.
You imagine that you have a very short interview with a virtual interviewee.
At least we are there.
Very
It usually
difficult.
depends on the internet and also you switch off the videos. Then it's
And earphones.
Lakini video ukiswitch off, you know you can't see the person.
Ina disadvantage. Let's give him some few minutes.
Sijui kama ni mwingine anamjibia maswali.
yes, umeshika sauti yake tayari.
Unaona watu wametoka sijui wapi wanaenda kufanya mtihani kwa wala.
Haya ndio huyo. Anajaribu kuingia. Yeah, he's back on. He's back on.
Okay. Abdinur.
My sincere apologies. I'm having issue with the net.
Do not worry. Let's proceed. Then my question was, what are the challenges in the resource mobilization in the development sector? And what you do to address that challenge? Mobilization in the development sector.
I'm missing the part.
Okay. Skiza Abdinur, eh? Can you hear me? Yeah. Assuming you are a member of the board of trustees for ICDT, what challenges would you face to mobilize resources, and how would you overcome it? If you haven't got us, check your chat. The question is being put there as well. By the way, kama utaweka hiyo maswali yote. Kwani Uganda ni kubaya hivi? Wako nyuma? Yes. Koronga ifafa. This is a nightmare. Ask him whether we can call him by WhatsApp.
Yeah.
No, we have had 0. Can we call you by WhatsApp?
Yes, that's okay.
Martha, do you have his number?
Yeah.
Give it to me. Kwa hapo ndio hiyo ndio iko na WhatsApp. Bad for us.
And bad for him too, because you see, he has taken the half an interview half already.
Me, anything that does away with the people, I don't like it. Does away with the people, including getting the money from the war.
Imagine I can't find him on
The war of a bank.
Siwezi kumpata kwa WhatsApp bwana.
Yeah, your number 58558
Nitakuongea na mtu unaona.
4556. Oh, from number 2. I should take this one.
Umetuma gani?
0729
Okay, it means 0729. Sorry.
0729 666 558 558 0729 666 558.
Bado. Haya, nimeiona sasa.
Just ask him those questions.
Abdi Nur. Hello? Abdi. Abdi Nur.
Hello?
Hujambo? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Please go ahead, nakusikia vizuri sana.
So we were exploiting 2 last sections with you, eh?
Yes.
The one that we are asking you is that we would like you to place yourself in the Isiolo Community Development Trust, eh?
Yes.
And assume that you've been asked to raise resources for the trust. What challenges do you think you will face in resource mobilization, and how will you address those challenges?
Thank you so much. That is quite a tough case scenario, but I will give it a try.
Because we will make you a trustee and we'll tell you to head resource mobilization, so you better try.
Yes, I must try. I must try. Resources, in my understanding for the Isiolo Community Development Trust, Isiolo Community Development Trust encompasses all the community organizations in Isiolo. I believe that is the case, to my understanding, which I believe resources comes in form of an aid. So one challenge could be that maybe we have mismanaged the resource in our custody. Maybe we have given the resource to someone who doesn't deserve. Then you see, the moment you give out resource to undeserving person, that is actually mismanagement. And you cannot actually even account to the donor that this is how we've spent the resource. Because there is no tangible activity you can account for it. That is one challenge in terms of embezzlement of fund, in terms of handing out the resource to undeserving people. Those are the challenges.
Those are challenges where you have resources and perhaps you have misappropriated, isn't it?
Yes.
Is there any challenge that you might face in terms of actually raising those resources? What are some of those challenges?
That's quite a tricky one. I will say pass.
We'll say pass.
Yes, it's quite a very tricky one.
Okay, wacha nikuachie hapo. Now, I have two more questions that I would like to ask you.
Okay.
I hear you are an official of a political party. Is that true?
I'm not an official of any political party.
Not even the bus one ya Kiraitu?
Hiyo kwanza achana naye.
Okay, and have you ever vied for any political office in Isiolo or Nairobi?
I have never. The only thing I vied for is student leadership positions.
I was going to ask that. I'm sure you are a student politician, eh? But that's okay. That's okay. It suffices for our case. There is a reason why we are asking that question, and I'll tell you towards the end of it. What are your core values, Abdinur? What if we are looking at you and we were to get you on board? What is these strong values that you have that we should be able to benefit from? Just mention 3 of them, if at all, or if one, whichever it is.
I will mention 3, which I can say among the best that I can live with. Number 1 is integrity. I am a Muslim, but that doesn't justify that I cannot do wrong. I am a Muslim, a devoted Muslim. I work well with people who trust me. I also do trust people, unless otherwise you come and break the trust. I'm a person of integrity, that is what I can say. Also, I am a servant leadership. I have a servant leadership value in me. That is what I believe. I'm born a leader.
No, a servant leader is what kind? Help me to understand it a bit.
Servant leadership is a leadership where you don't expect anything in return. You are not doing this because of a resource. You are not doing this because of a material thing. You are doing this because it is a passion that drives you to do this towards something for a good cause.
And what would you call a compassionate leader?
It actually falls in the same category for me.
Okay. What's the third value?
The third and the final one I can say is respect and dignity for all, regardless of the race, the religion, the color. Yes.
Okay, respect and dignity for all. Those are your key values and the core values that you want us to know. Thank you for answering all those questions. I was telling you the reason why we are trying to find out whether you belong to any political party is that this being a country that is so politicized,
yes,
anytime you put on a yellow, even a yellow shirt, if you put it on, people will assume they know your party. If you put on orange, they'll assume. If you put on red, and if we put somebody who has a red color or a yellow color or a blue color, then those who don't believe in him may or not, or in his party may or may not want to come to the organization. So we're trying to make sure that whoever we settle for is not politically active in the sense that they are not holding office and do not intend to hold office. So they should not use this process as a way of maybe selling themselves politically. So that's why we're asking this. Now, we have come to the end of our questions. I'm very, very sorry that we wish we knew we would have even started with this WhatsApp, because that network was terrible. And there's a way in which we were not hearing you well, and I'm sure there's a way you are not hearing as well, but all is well that ends well. Now, do you have any questions for us?
Yes, I have 2 questions.
Please ask them.
Before question, a comment.
Yes, please.
I have never been interviewed by a panel more than 5 people, as many numbers you are.
Abdi Nur, wewe ulitoka shule juzi, utaona mengi. Wewe ngoja tu. Hii kwanza hii ni ndogo. Utaenda next time you go to parliament for a job, you'll find a whole committee of 40. Wewe ngoja tu. Or you go to Public Service Commission and you'll find a gang there. So hii yetu ni ndogo.
Very true, very true. You know, actually my career is growing, that's why nakwambia I have never come across a panel of more than actually 6, let's say. So it's good for...
We are only 6, and Dr. Gilo will tell you that he once faced a crowd for interviewers. So there are 55, huh? 35. Did you hear that? 35.
35, I have heard that.
Yeah. So
I have 2 questions.
please do.
Number 1, sitaki ni kama unanibia mitiani. But if you could kindly, because you know, the moment network ilianza kupotea, I got tensed a bit.
Yes.
So many things of that I've thought about maybe to answer the question actually disappeared from my mind. So about resource mobilization, besides maybe let's say, because God knows, even me without getting this job, I also want to understand from my own personal knowledge. Like, could you kindly help me answer that question? Number 2, going to my role right now, I am a regional manager handling the northern part about any matter that has to do with treasury, more specifically about foreign exchange. Isiolo Community Development Trust being a house that encompasses an umbrella for all other NGOs, I was asking, like, can my knowledge or even my experience in this field come in hand in terms of maybe supporting, in terms of maybe educating about the foreign exchange? Or even in any other way support? Or rather, what I'm actually saying is my field right now of foreign exchange come in hand when it comes to benefiting the Isiolo Community Development Trust in any way. I would wish to understand, because it's something I want to do for the body.
Okay, thank you for those 2 questions. Number 1, I want to say this, and let me start with the last one. You are from Isiolo, you have expertise, you have some knowledge, and you will be involved in many other ways. The most important thing is that you have already shown an interest in wanting to support people in Isiolo just by applying for this job. You already have known that there's something called the ICDT that is coming up. So that is something, because you know, you should try as much as you can to make sure you stay close to the idea. Now, if you stay close to the idea, you will find that even if you don't make it to the trust, some people who are in the trust will consult you, and you can even be a member of a committee of the trust. Because this trust will only grow because it is it's exploiting, or it's deploying every skills that are available in the county. And not everybody can be on the trust, but others can be around helping advice on committees and so on. So that's possible. And therefore you should stay close to know what's happening. You're also young, so you still need a bit of experience to pick it out from somewhere where you are, so that again you can bring some of those experiences to this board. We are not saying only have elderly experience. We need a mix of skills. We need women, we need young people, we need older people, we need educated people, highly educated, not so highly educated, but we need a mixed bag so that people can all contribute. Some people who have not gone to school are better at ideas than some people who have gone to school, and you know that.
Very true.
Yeah, it's only that we are always unfair. We are always looking for certificates. So if you don't have a certificate, we might not have even shortlisted you. But we need to have everybody on board, or as many people on board as possible, to make sure that we harmonize and we give people an opportunity to contribute. So that is the issue about supporting and yes, about Forex and so on. Resource mobilization. I want me to be honest with you.
Yes.
You missed the question completely, and here is why.
Okay.
In terms of CSO, or in terms of civil society, or in terms of the kind of organization that we are setting up, a lot of resources will have to be raised through developing proposals and applying for grants, whether from bilateral organizations like USAID or multilateral organizations like the UNDP or the World Bank and so on. So when you write proposals, these proposals sometimes are fundable, sometimes are not fundable. So one of the challenges is to find a donor or a grantor out there who has the belief, or who can believe in ICDT and therefore fund it. So there will be those challenges, and shifting priorities in the donor sector will mean that some resources may be moving from one sector to another. So there's a challenge of donors, there's donor fatigue, there's donor dependency. There are many things around it that will not work. And then number two, our own people at times do not see why they need to be advised to also make contributions to an organization such as ICDT. So the challenge you'll have is to explain to them to believe in the idea, and once they are believing in the idea, to be able to fund the idea. There is this group called Kenya Community Development Foundation. They have an office on Ngong Road. They have been around for now more than 15 years, 25 years almost, but they are at least raising money from people. And now that raising of money from people is only coming because people have already begun to see what they are able to do. They organize golf tournaments, they organize local ways in which people participate to fundraise. So there are those challenges to organize. Sometimes you spend more money to looking for money, and you end up not getting the money. You try to organize a fundraising, you spend more than you have raised. Those are challenges, and many more others. So you hear me? So it's not automatic that once this board is in place, that whenever they apply for money, they'll get the money. It is always going to be a challenge, and therefore people who are going to be in the trust are likely to experience the challenge more. So manipata hapo. Yeah, and then of course there are corporates to be approached, like your bank, Equity Bank and others. They need, sometimes they don't just give money for free. They want to give you money, but they also want to make demands on you. They want to tell you that, give us accounts and so on. So those demands, conditions, can also come along with that. Si nimekujibu ya kutosha?
Vizuri sana, asante sana.
But there is money to be fundraised. Kuna watu matajiri hapa kama Dr. Ido hapa na wengine, they have money that they want to contribute to the community, and if you are trustworthy, as you say, they'll give you money and say, tumia hii kulipa fees ya watoto, fanya hivi. So again, to build trust so that people can trust you with their money, it's possible. And Bilach here, there are some ladies also who have money. Money is not just with men. So sawa ndugu yangu.
Sawa. Thank you so much. I want to say thank you to all of you. I wish I had made it to a physical meeting.
Man, you don't know what you missed. You would have met the real people in real life, but don't worry. Next time.
Thank you so much. I think from that panel, the only person I can recognize from my past is the bishop. He used to come to Isiolo Boys.
Yes.
What was he coming there to do?
Bishop, I remember you. Bishop was coming for AGMs.
He was a parent.
He wasn't.
He wasn't a parent?
I'm not sure. But he was coming for the... Okay, he was coming in support for the students and I'm sure the board.
It's good you've said it was a boys' school, so we can be safe. Otherwise, if it was a girls' school, we would have asked you whether he was coming for the principal or...
I think I can remember only Bishop. Bishop, it's so good to see you. After, I think, 6 years.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much to all of you.
Karibu sana. Have a good time. When are you back, or you're staying in Uganda these days?
I will be back at the end of this month.
Okay. Wewe tafuta pesa bwana. Ukirudi ulete pesa mingi. Haya.
Muhimu, asante sana.
Haya, karibu. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Karibu. Bye. Was Fred able to follow? Thank you.
Up to the point of course, the WhatsApp you can have it.
You're able to follow, eh?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, now there we are. We've come to the Fred. We are giving you 30 minutes for you to bring us results. Please don't do that you're cutting.
Oh, I can see.
You are wondering whether we have such.
He's saying dictatorial, dictatorial.
He wanted to say benevolent dictator.
Yeah.
So he was struggling to look for that word.
No, Dr. yesterday asked for that question. He wanted to hear someone.
Sasa leo alipewa na he is not happy. Today was given
And
someone who is honest.
Sikusikia, alisikia Equatorial. What result? So mimi nilisikia Equatorial. Mimi nataka mtu aniambie nini dictator. At least mtu kama hiyo amekwambia yeye ni participant lakini dictator. Mtu ambie tu watu mimi dictator na sababu ni hivi.
You are sanitizing it.
That's
how he has managed to be a regional manager at 26. So maybe the dictatorial is
I tell you, it's working. Ay.
You are done?
We are done now. The final session is on analysis and fast reporting, which
I thought there was another person.
Amina.
There was another lady on Zoom.
Amina Isa.
Oh, you didn't hear me. I reported in the morning. Maybe it's you came up after that. She opted out. Yeah, the only other lady in the panel. So I think she's out of the country. So she wrote to me very early in the morning that she might not manage with her current commitments, which was I think it's good also if she felt that she's not in a position to participate in this or now or and after.
It paves way for.
Yeah.
There's only one Somali left. So you're also looking at ethnic balance.
So gender balance iko chini sana. But it's the first round, so it's not final.
There was a very smart lady from Orogino. She can represent two ladies.
Well, you're not speaking our spot when I'm sitting here. How?
She was very smart. She was too good. She understands issues.
We indicated the analysis that she's representing. It is too good she's representing.
It's equivalent too. But she's also managing so many things. She's in so many other trusts. She's a board principal.
So, Chair, what have we agreed? Can we have a consensus meeting on Friday? And you guys feel it's still too early?
On what?
Friday.
Yeah,
No, first of all, let's finish the job. It depends. Once the job is on,
We are finishing now, so it's not a discussion. But
I don't know why are you calling it consensus meeting. You know, I don't want things that will open up a Pandora's box. Mimi nataka kujua what is the consensus meeting. What is the agenda?
Let me call it a reporting body.
Yes, don't say consensus because we will have results. The results should speak.
Yeah, reporting.
Yeah. You can't say consensus. What do you even you didn't tell candidates that after this we will put them under consensus, do we? The issues are we have a process, we have results. I think?
We finish the process when we get what is there.
Yes. Yeah. That's what I'm telling her.
Go a step at a time.
Yeah.
that's better. We're saying the same things in different ways.
Huh? But the word that I didn't like to hear was consensus because that's another animal.
She's democratic.
Very.
She's a democratic leader.
Mwachana na yeye. Wewe ni dictator tu
And
lakini
Wakili is a dictator.
I'm a results oriented. For results.
Hiyo ya kuneutralize dictator tumesema benevolent.
Equatorial.
That's a nice one.
Equatorial. No, nilisema alisema equatorial.
No, alisema dictatorial.
He said
Then you
dictatorial.
kasema equatorial.
Because we did not want to believe he said dictatorial.
Yeah. Mimi nilisikia dictatorial.
Actually, he said
Friendly
dictatorial.
Yeah.
But friendly.
Alisema friendly.
Yeah.
There is nothing friendly about dictatorship. Okay, I should
Hey.
meet him. And he's only 26.
That's
So
why.
we now believe
That's
that
why
at some
he's who
point,
he is.
at some point,
Ameenda mbali.
But actually,
but it was fun.
the title was sanitized by friendly. See, if you are friendly, you can't be bad.
Yeah.
Dictator planning.
I like that. Sabili yako. Sabili yako hapa ama kwa Nairobi.
Alikuwa ni kama nafikiri kuna wiki sasa.
Uko kwa ofisi yake?
Kwa Mustafa.
Wewe.
Kwa Mustafa.
Uko na engineer. He has really supported us in this process. Na county commissioner alisema atatuma mtu na anajua aliweza kupata email. Sababu nilikuwa namwambia atatumiwa email.
Wote uko huko na niki.
Pande wako na niki.
Yes.
Sasa hiyo ndio shida. NGO imetoa watu kwa ofisi ya devolution. Isiolo hakuna ile ina operate. People are always out. Ukitoka na nyumba sasa anaenda na Nakuru. Wakitoka na Nakuru waende Mombasa, warudi Nairobi, waende Eldoret, warudi Saroba. Mpaka tuingie elections. Wale watu wamebaki ni chief officers. Chief officers do not go for these meetings because they are managing resources. Yeah. Ukiona chief officer yako hapo, labda ile ya hapa ya dakika kidogo. Wala wanaenda ma-CEC, directors. Wako mbali na resources.
Lakini CS mostly anakuanga tu kwa ofisi.
Yes, hata haendi sana.
Haendi sana. Utakuta kuruwa wakati haendi lunch anakaa tu kwa ofisi.
Sasa kuta tu CEC wa health, CEC wa livestock. Hai, nimefurahi huyo kijana hizo Lokman atapata competition kama huyo mama amepotea.
Tunadai watu wapate competition. Sisi tunafikiria tunatafuta watu kumbe wao wanataka kufuta.
The community balance.
Not gender balance, but community.
No, but see, we need all the balance where we can. We need gender, we need community, we need all those. Like so far,
sasa kama huyo mama angeingia ulete mngesema gender.
That's what I'm saying. We need balance.
So we need.
So the more the merrier.
Knows what is talking.
Yeah, but I was
kama mama angekuja wangesema gender. Na gender means women. According to us. So the man would be out.
As it is, we have a disadvantage.
Yeah. Hapa kwetu it means women.
As it is, we have a disadvantage because wanaume tu ndio wako hapo. Mama ni mmoja.
Siku hizi sisi tumechagua hata senator mama.
Wameru.
Tabana hapa Isiolo.
Wameru kuchagua mwanamke ni shida?
Meru ni ngumu. Unajua Meru ni patriarchal. Meru ni kama hapa tu.
They are more than here. They are more patriarchal
than Muslims.
They are.
Umekuona mama amechaguliwa Meru? Isipokuwa kiti ile ya wamama, hata hiyo walikuwa wanauliza mwanaume hawezi chaguliwa. Represent wa mama. Women rep. Since independence. Hata kubali hakuna mtu anajaribu sana. Kawera kiti ya
atawezana na kirahisi vizuri.
Unajua nilitaka kina Mike Sonko.
Ni kakurukuru kakara.
Na kina Waitito. Wale acha wasi very serious. Na anaweza pata ujue. Kenyans don't like very serious people.
Lakini for governor, hatujafikia hapo. We are senate ya nini MP, you can govern. Governor, we are now, you see people like Munya and Kraitu were battling giants over something. But you know, Greta Kawira kucheza na Kraitu atampita. But if you governor bado kidogo, we are serious.
Ni kweli. Watu unajua wameona. Lakini shida ni electorates. Wale wanaochagua hawaelewi hiyo.
Ndio nasema pitting Kraitu na huyu mama. Wewe Wameru wengi watapigia Kraitu. Si so woman thing.
Hata kufika watu wanajua kupita hivi. Kraitu ndio has never lost an election. Always like
najua kupika. Kraitu ni mkora, achana naye. Hiyo bwana ya Priscilla hiyo achana. Bwana ya Priscilla tunamjua.
I didn't want to call them the elderly, then we call them the older generation. Were the majority in the Africans.
But they are very resourceful. Like the professor who left this afternoon, and the KRI man who came. Those can be very instrumental.
In this kind of thing, it's just huwezi kuweka wazee peke yao. Weka mzee hapa na hapa. Lakini mpaka balance iko. Wazee peke yao hali si inaweza kuharibika.
Anaweza kwa mama
wakati wa mbio.
Unaona hata Azimio ni ya wazee.
Azimio imezimia na wazee.
Na mwenyewe by the way alitumia.
Let me tell you. My policy is very simple. Wacheni na ile akuwe president even for one day. Wacheni. Isi mimi nataka mjue kwamba hii country inaweza kuwa na mikono ya mtu mwingine isipokuwa Kale na Mkikuyu. That's the most important point.
Lakini sasa unajua lazima ataachia nani?
Mata msikia. That's why we don't want to track number 2.
Waliana mapema.
Track number 2 tupatie Kikuyu. Tunataka afadhali tupatie Mmeru.
Akichukua madha tutampea.
Pana, tunataka uchukue Munya.
Munya hajaresign.
see, he's not vying. So, yeah, he's not vying. Hapana, lakini nasema anaweza kuchagua mtu yote.
But he has not resigned, so he can't
He doesn't have to resign.
Wakili, hebu niambie, maybe I don't know. Kama kuresign unaweza kuingia kwa siasa?
Unaweza, unategemea na nini? You see, if you are a running mate of somebody, you cannot have resigned. Wewe uko unataka? With those who are intending were supposed to resign. Wewe hukutaka. So why should you have resigned? Wewe umekuja kuitwa. Wakati unaitwa ndo Yes. You did not, wewe hukutaka?
You are appointed.
You are appointed to be a running mate.
Yes.
Na sio wewe ndo na run, ni president. Yeah. Sio?
Wako nyuma tu kwa ubali.
Sio wewe, sio mimi napeleka nini pepa zangu na Yes sir. Yes, mio.
Share the floor.
Yes, nashukuru. Safi kabisa. Niambie. Habari. Siasa ndio njia. Wanasema siasa ndio njia. Kenya utadhani tuna manufacture and sell politics. And that's how we make money.
Could be making some followers. Nimempigiwa simu hapa kama dhate. Leo.
Mwambie I want to go through a process here, but saizi zangapi saizi ni going to 4. Si tuweseme 410. So oh yeah, okay. Fred.
Hello? So?
Morning, you have to breakfast. One square style.
You get a number of them? What number of them?
You're situ every time. Dauti abani. Dauti na pambo rana pinga. Ulole na pambo rana pinga.
I like this process. Kuja, just come and see. I love this process. Bishop, angalia. Look at your results.
They are here already.
Look at your results. Look at nani? Look at wapi wewe. Where am I? Come on. Wewe. Okay.
Sioni baba.
Look at the results. Look at the results. Like ule mama, ule mzee wa tax ndio huyo 72.3. Aya, angalia huyu Angelina 74.15. Angalia huyu Dr. Hussein Abkalo 78. Angalia huyu Mohamed Boru Ali 72. Angalia huyu Hussein Isaac 76. Alafu Malik Adan 70. So you wake up pass mark 70. You have even gender iko ndani. The question then would be
region gani iko namna gani, so we now start looking at regions and so on, but
Correct.
performance you can see ndio hiyo inakaa yenyewe.
Asante sana.
Unaona vile inakaa?
Very nice. What
Let me tell you, this process, it has never failed us.
Bishop wanted to say something.
No, as long as the professor.
You have not tampered with it. He has already accused you and you are seated next to him.
This process just does it.
As long as the professor is here, I have no problem.
You see, already.
The mzee who was here last day.
See, alikuwa anaitwa Isaac.
Dr. The one from
Isaac, eh?
Yeah.
Isaac, ndio hiyo 76.
You know that guy?
76.
Anaitwa Basempere.
Unajua that guy?
76%.
Nani? Mzee. Wakati mmoja alikuwa kwa inaitwa nini?
Mbona mmeangusha usengo lecha?
Was in section hapa nitaja. Ndio mzee resign, alikuwa anasema anataka kuwa boss na wanted to be supervised. Just that. He resigned from that position. Mpaka watu wanamuita
Aya. Ita watu tumalizane na hii story.
Hai.
Fred, are you there?
Si tumetumiwa kwa WhatsApp. Iko kwa email zetu?
No. It's just with me and
Oh.
You and who?
and Martha.
Why not all of us? We see
Wewe uende ungane na siasa tu. Wewe uende ukae na Ruto tu wewe.
Mimi equatorial.
Wewe ungane. Do we have no, we can't use that, eh?
A way of projecting there.
Yeah.
I know it's what you wanted. We can project some document. No, it's not a PowerPoint.
So Excel.
Yes.
Yeah, send it to him, then we'll project him.
All right. Then I could do one.
Nisaidie ile kitabu kwa. Yaani ile.
There is daga.
Kama hiyo professor ako hapo. There's no fight.
No, you see, this thing is very chargeous. You see, the six of us, even if I try to favor a candidate like what, even if you bring down a candidate, like, this thing just balances itself. Because you are looking at this person and what you're seeing is what everybody is seeing. And even if you said 4, I said 3, it just balances by itself because of the numbers we have.
What is the drill now?
The drill is that we have the results. So we want to display them up there. And then we finish because the result to me is it's rather just it's yani inajitokeza yenyewe. So the only thing now we need to think about is, are the regions balanced? Is there agenda? And then unajua Bishop, wewe ndio unajua maombi yako sijui ni ya wapi.
Mimi nimefungua.
Ni wapi? Kama okay, wacha niachie hapo. Aya, panua kidogo, rather magnify. Enlarge. Yes. Aya, sasa rudi huko. Now, basically what this tool does, it takes all the scores from all of us, then it is computed, then inafanya calculation in terms of percentage. So, in terms of this, going by the candidates as we saw them, if
And scorpions.
Okay, so you highlight the name.
I have another investigation where someone with a PhD
where the Ngarimara will consider themselves.
In other words, it does not bring in the Turkana.
Yes.
The question is, did we see a Turkana today?
There is, but we don't have the. In my opinion, the marks is lower.
That's what I'm coming to. It is very low. It's very low.
Yes.
Okay. Because anybody after say 65
Yeah.
could be said to be
Can be Sukuma.
Can be Sukumwani.
Yes.
But again, if they are not around there, we can leave that for another day. We can say this one.
But that guy could be the best in that community.
No. We don't want to
yes
say
or
that.
no?
We don't want to say that.
Yeah. That's the issue.
That's one of the criteria that was used by the shortlisters, and I guess a few were knocked out.
On that account.
Yes. So if we allow him, it's opening up Pandora box. So I don't know. Maybe the rest can say, but he performed well.
Yeah, performance. This is the problem with this thing. Performance sometimes is not everything. It's now these other interests that we need to balance, and also the politics that we need to manage, and the face that we need to manage. He's a good candidate for me. If it was my choice, I would have said, but see, if we used that against others, then
we want to hear everybody on this. Because you know, what comes out of here is a collective decision.
Yes. There's another way of looking at it.
He was just appointed recently.
There's another way.
And he has no office at the moment.
He doesn't have an office.
He has no office.
Would this guy be a useful ally to the trustee in the county government? Would he be a useful ally?
They will.
That's the other way to ask. Because you see, at the end of the day, the ICDT must also get some money even from the county government.
But we have Mustafa and the
There are two chief officers
who are very close.
who are.
But those ones will never be okay. No, I hear you, but you see what you're saying is that you're looking for somebody who will be in the decision making, sitting in there.
But we have stronger ones, like Mustafa and
He
the.
won't be able to influence issues of the county on behalf of. That we know. The local politics, he is not able to influence. In fact, the chief officer and Abdia, they will be much
So
more.
there's no compelling reasons to say anything. Yeah.
I'm actually
If this,
thinking it will bring problems.
yeah, if it will bring problems, we blank it out and we can explain.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's not just the merits that we're dealing with. We're dealing with regional balance. Because it is just 1, 2, 3. And by the way, this is a conversation that you need to know. There was a problem that went wrong in Kiambu. I wasn't involved, and then the problem was that they just simply went 1, 2, 3. Now they took people of the same type, intellectuals together. They did not look. Now we are dealing with the problems. Yeah. Even now I'm about to go to a meeting at 5 over it. The point being is that whenever you have a mix up skills and make sure you have different places. Not same people like I do at myself, and then we come and arguing. And the work is not being done.
So I think we blank that.
Blank it.
So, yeah, that is Mohammed. Yes.
Yes.
Blank it,
Just
blank it,
blank.
Just
Or highlight it.
Highlight it,
with
another
some color.
some color, yeah. So that, yeah.
Red, put red. Yeah, sample. So that leaves us with 6 still. Remember we brought in, look.
Another, before we move to also that, no, it's after, sorry.
Yeah.
It's after.
So of these 6 people, so the only thing we can do is let's drop and see whether
I'm wondering if it's a PhD thing.
No, of course.
Mustulete?
hii kitu watupewa na mtu kumesomea.
Haya, basi huyo darasa. Moving on swiftly.
Yeah.
Okay, what we need also to look at is the expertise they're bringing on board. What skills do they have? Which area of work are they bringing on board? Like there's finance, there's also professional on development, others like the environmentalists.
That's a good thing you're saying, so we can actually check
Before we go
it.
to that, because that could be our wrapping
thing.
Can we look at inclusion and exclusion? We haven't finished the agenda of inclusion or exclusion. Then we can look at the skills, where there are gaps in it. So when we look at inclusion criteria, when we are looking at inclusion criteria, we are trying to fulfill the regional, but we still miss one person.
Yes.
So that's a comment we have to.
Yeah.
That means if we decide as a committee, and it's not a must, if we decide as a committee that it is important to have that region represented, there's no criteria we have set for ourselves that each and every region must be represented, but we desire to have that.
Yeah.
Then we will say that there is one slot we are leaving
For
that.
Garbatula, yes.
For Ngaremara,
Garamara.
the regional representation now. That is one thing we could say. Then one slot is left for Ngaremara. And then Garbatula doesn't have one representation on the minimum.
Those are two.
Those are two.
And then disability.
Then there is persons with disability. Then there is the gender question.
Professor,
Which at least gives us, requires us to bring in another one because already Angela is in.
Yeah.
So we will.
And we don't have any lady.
That's what, no, we have one, Angela.
Yes, but if we look at our numbers,
Yes,
we actually need more than one.
exactly. But also bringing in the Somali and the youth. Now for Garbatula we don't have, even if we drop we don't have. For Ngarmari we don't have, even if we drop down there's nobody to
The
vote.
same for gender.
And then the same for gender because we only interviewed one person.
Yeah.
So we can say we are going with these people subject to A, at the right time, us bringing in one person for Garmari, Garamara, another one for Garbatula. And many of those can bring two things. One, if somebody has disability or somebody can represent both, then they bring both things. Like here, you see, Lukman is bringing in the youth agenda as well as the Somali agenda. So when we leave that, we say, and when we are looking for somebody in Merti, or no, Merti has to, Garbatula, can we also identify this type of
Can they fulfill a gender role, a disability role? That would be
you are talking.
a plus. So that you are not looking for two different people.
Yeah.
You are
Yes.
talking.
Madam wants to say something.
And I think this parliament must make a decision. Malik Adan. Malik Adan, I know his mother was from the Batula. But Malik, I think, was born here and brought up here. And we are saying Malik is from Kina. I know his uncles, some of his uncles are from Kina. He has a family in Kina. But I don't know whether Malik identifies with Kina. Or whether he identifies himself here in Isiolo or Kina. What can you say about that? Because well, somebody can ask us, maybe Malik is not even from Kina.
I hear what you're saying, and then I'm challenging us now. It's back to us. We are trying as much as possible to bring up at the face of Isiolo, isn't it? We are using the information we have available to us. Certainly, we are not looking for representative people, so that if I went to the village and asked people do you know Malik? Maybe, maybe not. And even that may not give us the right answer. But if we feel that there's an identity from that area, we can work with it. Because these people are going to come, let's give them a chance that they are going to have the face of those areas. When they make decisions, they make them with all these things in perspective. So there's a little bit from what you're saying of a connection between Malik and Kina. There's some bit of it.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So, having said that,
His father is from Kina. His father is from Kina. His uncles are all from Kina.
And their loan is in Kenya.
our good doctor, Dr. Nesaka, when he was presenting, he was explaining. also there is need for balances.
Exactly.
There are things people look for.
Correct.
When they look and they see,
If there's
we
no
are not
Karayu,
there,
there's
we
no
are not
Dida.
there, we are not there. There are these arguments also which comes up. We have not been. You get it? So in this, there is a little bit of imbalance.
Can you tell us what?
Let him
I am seeing
it's called advances. Let him advance it.
Actually, it's very right. I agree with that.
Relax. Patience is important because when this decision will bite us.
Yeah.
So if you don't agree with me, just go to Alafu, then you can give a view. So my view is that we have a Sakuya here. We have some.
Yeah, and we are entertaining it.
That if we leave it like this, there is a feeling that some areas have been overrepresented. Watu wengine wamechukua kila kitu, wametuacha.
Minority, yani.
Yeah, the minorities have taken everything.
And the majority have been left.
And the majority have been left.
Doctor, I've heard you. The question then I want to ask, do we have in the pool anybody that can...
I want us to go back to the pool
and
check.
Let's go to the pool
But
and check.
before we do that, let us exhaust this discussion.
Yeah.
No, sorry, mothers are coming. The point you are making is a point we must discuss and make a decision on, one way or the other.
Yes.
Because let's not be said to have not considered it. Yes, mother.
Yeah, I was, of course, I completely have come to appreciate some of these aspects cannot be overlooked or ignored because they are critical. So I'm just looking, we have 6 already. So we are saying the stocks that we would like to preserve, we've agreed technically there are 2 with the anticipation that the 2 will represent another missing 2. We have the regional stroke ethnic and we have the sub-county representation.
Yes.
But it's with the assumption that possibly the 2 will represent the gender and the PWD stocks that are missing. That is the ideal.
Yes.
So we are still at 9 as the number.
Yes.
No, the number is that for
Yeah.
trustees.
The number we had agreed on was 9.
So best case scenario, if we have these 2, maybe we are reserving 2. That is the best case scenario. We are reserving 2 to double up the slot, and we already have 6. So where does that leave us?
No, where we are going is this, and he's making a good point. Number one, if we go to the pool, do we see this happening? It's sorting out that issue. The other way to ask it is it likely that we can load it as one of those issues to come from, say, Garba, where you are looking at, you don't want Boran, yeah? So where will we get a Boran from? Of the 3 areas we have left. In Merti we can get a,
Garbatula.
yeah. And Merti. So you see, one of the things we could say is in order to balance this Waso Boran, they said was what? Then we say that we are looking for this representation from Merti, in addition to youth, in addition to people living, no, not youth, people living with disability, gender, we are also asking for a Boran.
Yes.
That way, that slot will bring us that missing link, yet balance the region.
Yes. In my opinion.
My fear.
Yes.
My fear is that, you know, this is the first list we are bringing up. So we should aim for the least resistance.
Yes.
That people don't feel they are left out in the first list. If we can cure it.
Yes, and that's why we must fall back to check for a cure.
Because if people look and then they see,
We are missing
wait a
out.
minute, we are not there, we are being told to tatafuta huko nje. You know, they don't consider all of these things you are considering. Them, they are looking at the names.
Yeah, Dr. Edward, with you.
Yes, I'm just trying to reinforce that, but I think also it's important we hear these guys because they are the ones who are also going to defend this position.
Don't put us in the problem.
No, I'm actually looking at it and I'm thinking I'll be in trouble. Don't even go there.
If you do what?
No one is a Borana and I'm going to Borana there.
In
There's
this group?
Sawiye,
No one is a
no, it's Borana, Borana, the other Boranas. And Borana Safiye is here, Borana Gabras are here, there's Somalis, there's Samburu, and there's Meru. So, the where I come from, no one is.
I see. Now, and that's the point he's making.
Yeah.
Now, let's drop to our list.
Yes, and check.
Is there somebody?
Yes, they're double too.
Who is that?
Dr. Sen-
overrepresented there.
No, it's not disadvantaging. We said at least 2 from each.
Let is 3 now.
So we said at least 2.
At least, okay.
We didn't say it can't be more than 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Although they are all men.
Yeah, I'm still looking at it in the interest of the overall number.
No, maybe I would still not worry over a number. First, let's bring in problems, and then let's deal with issues. Like Kabi, the reason why we're bringing Hussein is because of Borana element. The question then will be, does it have a knock-on effect?
Yeah.
That's the question, but I would say relax it.
Exactly. I'm still referring to the criteria, the minimum, I mean the criteria that was agreed upon of county, sub-county representation, gender, PWD, youth.
And we are coming to it. What we say, and that's what we was saying, that when people see this list, will there a question and the judge has said yes, I will be asked unakaa hapo na hakuna hata borana mmoja umeleta. So we are brought into this list. There's an effect to what we've done. The question then is, when we look, and you're hearing the Bishop Chairman saying, and I'm telling Mwaja Kwanza, now we are there. Is there an effect, now that you brought up Policia, is there an effect of this on the Garba that are here?
Yes.
If there is, what can we do? Can we go to this list again and ask the question? If we have two Gabras, who drops out?
The one who is not a professor.
Which one is that? And you also don't want just professors alone.
Yeah.
Which one is that?
Let me ask you a question. When it comes back to research, Professor brings on board research, right?
Which professor? Who said?
Doctor.
Dr. Hussein. Dr. Sydney,
Of course.
office.
No.
There is Abkalo and there is Isaac.
Yeah.
So we are can we look at those two? They are both researchers. And because obviously we have to drop either of the two governors. We have to have one. Then we look at what we lose if we drop the person off. So that's what we should look at. Look at those two. What skills they are bringing on board? Is it with the others? Yes or no? Then we move.
But I have a follow-up question. How about if what are the possibilities of returning the two? Because there is no offense. The fact that they stick out,
here. All of us are representing all the constituencies, and we want to make sure every constituency is represented. So she should remove this tag saying, I will be the one who has a problem.
Yes.
She's not here to defend
No,
the Boranas.
by the way, I want to agree.
I am the one who said let's
Yes.
pull the Borana name up because she didn't even realize there was no Borana here. So let us not have that argument
You're the
here.
one who just sparked that.
No, no,
I want us to be fair to everybody.
Yes.
Yes.
And we must all carry the cross together.
Yes.
Not one person.
and for example, Doc,
Yes.
actually it's an advantage for us if we recognize and support people who have studied, have read books, so that we
fair. It is how that fairness is interpreted out there. Okay? When we presented this list, we were trying to make sure every community sees themselves there. That's why this young man, the one from Turkana, even if he was lowest in qualification, since he was the only one who qualified, we put him there. You get it? So that when the list comes out, somebody sees our people are there. I want to give you another example. When the public service announces these national positions, national like commissions and all this, they are looking for 2 positions, but they shortlist 18 to 20. Why? In that list, everybody wants to see whether their region, their religion, their tribe has been considered. But they are looking for only 2 positions. But when you are putting in the newspaper, everybody sees, hata mtu yetu kutoka Northeastern, ako, mtu yetu kutoka West Pokot, ako. Then there is a sense of fairness. It doesn't mean that you will get it, because they are sometimes they even know the 2 people whom they want to give this thing. But to see the optic is very important. Now, when we present this list, what people will be concerned about is the representation. Wamechukua ngapi, wamepea watu wengine ngapi, na wamefanya ngapi. You get it? So if now we come, every other community has 1 slot, and then you come with 1 community which has 2 slots, where the others have not even filled their slot. The perception is that they have been over-favored, or they have been favored by the team. So we need to find a method of giving the optics. Want to ensure that probably Malik remains in the extended consideration. You know, the number 9 was a decision we made together. So the number 11 has to be presented to the ISC. We can't allow a decide here and say that we will have 11. If in that expanded consideration we also consider Malik in that is a different debate. But
it can be pending. The pending list. It's okay.
Yes, but in the pending list it can be considered. But in my view, if you bring a list and somebody says hawa wamepata mingi kuliko sisi,
what criteria?
Na itakuwa, and there are who are already agitated for not being shortlisted. There are people who have made a lot of noise for not being shortlisted. So we want to reduce.
Dr. Mugela.
We want to reduce ammunition for people to fight us.
And to throw the list out.
Yes.
So I agree with the doctor also. I can see the sense in what he is saying, in that if we present 3 Gaburas, if we put Malik, there will be beyond 2.
No.
There will be 2 Gaburas.
2 Gaburas.
There's no 2 groups here.
No,
there's
no 2 groups. You guys are the ones who picked it up the wrong way.
How? The wrong
last
way?
time when
We were following the qualification.
No, it was not about qualification when Dr. picks on the research. I was just looking at all they're bringing on board that time. But for now, there's only 2 Gaburas.
2 is okay. 2 is not a big deal.
So there are only 2.
There are only 2 Gaburas, yes.
Which is Malik and?
Malik and
Dr.
Dr.
Hussain.
The one who was.
Both of them are doctors.
But I would say we can live with that. We can live with 2 Gabriels.
I thought so.
I think I'm supporting what Dr. Edo is saying. We can have it until we discuss with the IC to have it at 11. For now, we can leave Malik out of it. And
It's
see
a Malik
there.
is not a Gabra, so why would you
It's a Gabra.
It's a Gabra.
But if we remove it from the list, 1 on 1 Gabra. I just got a 70.
Yes. We have to speak with that with the
We
number.
bite the bullets and tell Okoro to resign from that coordinator. We tell him.
6 months.
He betrayed himself.
What about, by the way, Afghano is a Borana.
Yes,
He's a Borana
he's
Sapir.
only Sapir.
So why can't we use him as a card and say, look, this guy, he came, he did this, he did this. We can consider him for this.
No, he's okay. He has no problem.
Okoro has no problem. He represents a constituency.
That now Afghano is not the, he's not the,
It's not a Borana.
it's not the county guy.
No, the county guy is
We,
working.
we've not, oh.
Woman.
No, he's fine, he's very good.
So we can, how are we conducting this? We are sticking with all those, except
No, we're
one.
fine.
With an intention of proposing an
That's the answer.
expanded.
With, yeah,
So
with an intention
there
of proposing
there
an
are
expanded.
options. There are options in my view. I think we look at those options. I personally feel Malik merits to be in this committee. My big challenge is the optics. I have no problem with him. He did well. He did extremely well for his age. So let's find a way of not the list being thrown out, but also not throwing him out. If there is a way of win-win for that, I think that would be.
It can be put in the reserve list.
Until we discuss with IOC and because we can't increase the number, only that.
Put them in the reserve list. So that it can be incorporated together with the additional ones.
Here's what I would say.
Yeah.
Since we know that our only weak point is Malik, we can present this list the way it is. Defend, give all the arguments and even the process and how we move so and so. Just say that this is the merit performance. This was a moderated performance in terms of bringing in this balance. But this the third option leaves us with this problem. This problem can be cured A, by removing Malik, B, by increasing these numbers in order for us to go to this. And if we do that, then these numbers will be reserved for gender, this, that, and then we say for as well. So we can present three things. One, merit, this is what we came out. Two, we moderated, this is what we came up with. And in this moderation, this is what stood out for us and leads us to.
And in order to cure the deficiency of the list, these are our proposals. That we will have expanded the list, have fill the gaps where there are regional gaps and gender and disability gap. And then within that, we say this is how we will cure it. We will not even need at that point then to highlight and say we do that by removing someone. No. We can say we cure the problem by doing this. I think that
will be the way to go because A, we have thought about it.
Yes.
B, we've done something about it.
Yes.
And C, we are proposing that the IC can do something about it. So that way, nobody's crucifying us for not thinking and for doing something. We say this is merit. We invited people. The short list was done, everybody knows who came.
Yes.
This is how they performed.
Yes.
But these were the issues, so we moderated it and we brought in so and so. When we did this, when we look at it, perhaps we thought that there might be other interests like this gender, people living with disability, and then the overall brand. So we are suggesting that instead of holding it here because we can't get that representation, let's expand by this so that we can get this and that. And then we'll have done our job.
Yeah, but you see the idea of expanding the BOT, in terms of looking at the costs, if you increase to 11, we are making it harder in front of money. So if we have said 9, and then because of this constitution constituting the board, we now again say 11. You see, we are not moving forward, we are just creating another organization. So the idea of 11, I don't think is the best way to go. I don't see the Dr. Hussein there. Governor will have Dr. Hussein, in fact, is representing many constituencies. So, if Malik is removed, Malik is still young, can be of service to the community in many areas. So I don't know why it's becoming hard for us to make a decision on Malik.
So we remove Malik, we are left with 3. We cure the problem of regional representation and all of that with that. Persons with disability and all that.
So it will remain with the total 9.
So I support that. We need to move forward. Dr. While merit, meaning everything is fine, we must also be, we have to be socially okay. Huh? You can get all of them professors, but if they are all from Meru, huh? You haven't done yourself justice. Or if they are all Sakuye or Gabra, somebody will still feel, Abana. Yes, it's a good body, but it's not ours.
We have 3 stages to solve what you are saying.
So I want to concur with what Manu said.
I missed it.
Yeah, you are going there. What you were saying, it is easier for us to drop Malik at this level and live with the 3 slots and now explain ourselves. We will balance other things using the 3 slots.
I'm okay. So as we report the issue of expansion again.
Yeah.
Let the new debate.
Yes. And it might open another
box.
Yeah. So I'm okay with that. And we are owning it jointly. And remember that I will not be the reporting meeting. It is you, chairman, and
we will still have issues, but we don't want to go there with issues we know.
But then we'll have a common meeting. That's what we are planning for Friday, isn't it?
We agreed that we first go through this step, then we can agree and we want to
fine. We can live with what we are saying.
And stick with it. Unless otherwise.
We know there are questions that we cannot anticipate.
But if we drop Malik, can we still use
them? Like if you present something, there are questions we can't anticipate. Somebody might ask the question, why was this, why was, you know, those. But if you have something you anticipate, you try to cure it.
Yes.
Before.
So, can we still use the same approach where we say this was the merit?
Yes.
This is the moderated.
Yes.
This is why we dropped Malik.
Yes.
And this is how we are proposing to move forward.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's put it
the same
order there so that yeah. So if somebody says, if the meeting says no, but let's bring back the guy and whatnot, then we also will.
Also, can we agree on keeping, if we are keeping them on the waiting list, we keep the 2, Mohamed Bolu and Malik.
But Mohamed Bolu, you know,
or maybe today when he was applying.
Possibly it could be after you apply.
After he applied, that's why I'm thinking.
No, not as I'm aware. It is recent, but not as recent as when he was applied. It was before, but it's not also long time ago.
Maybe he was also.
You know, it's my board chair at Isiolo Boys. It's my friend, so I know. But you see, I thought we looked clearly on the application. So if someone was hiding something on the application, we would have to personalize.
Yes.
Unless he says himself, otherwise, supposing he has decided that I don't know.
So we are in agreement.
So we're in agreement now.
Yes.
Martha,
So
you're doing a report, isn't it?
yes. Can we agree on the other 3 slots? Whom do we need? Then we can do
PWD,
PWD 1,
woman,
a woman,
and the region,
region.
and I don't know
For
how to
Ghana,
say it.
is it for Ghana?
Because we have to look at it. We have to also, Martha has to clearly put in
So,
that 2 slots need to be from Garbatula.
so let's say this. To balance this, we need 2 women and 1 man.
Yes.
So that we have 3 women and 5 or 6 men on the minimum. So of those 2 women, 1 should be a PWD person. Then you will knock out.
Either of the man or the woman, one has to be a PWD.
Yes, of the
Of
men,
either
of the
sex.
gender.
Either
If
gender.
we can get a woman who is also a Turkana, would be also a plus.
She's a woman to Ghana and PWD.
Would be
plus,
even
plus,
plus.
plus.
Yeah. So those are the boxes we
And
tick.
the other 2?
Then the other 2 would be from Borana constituency in Garbatula. Because now Garbatula will not have a slot.
Yes.
Correct.
Good. And that is a good report.
Then that she will, no, I'm actually saying for the sake of Martha, so that she can have it in her report.
You are right, Bilal. You are saying details.
Yeah,
So that when we are going for the next, the person knows from here, we are not able to get the 3. These are the criteria, we need this to cover this, this to cover this.
Yeah, there's a question, right? You know, Mercy, now, the Mercy sub-county will have to be,
Yes.
it has 4.
Now,
It has 3 slots.
You know, this guy you mentioned, we can revert him back to that slot of Garemara because technically he is in Garemara.
the overall chair, can I excuse myself so that I can give an input to this meeting? I believe we are
We are now.
We have agreed so far.
So agreed, eh?
We can allow you.
Yes.
So Rudisha, your list.
Yeah, so whatever we do,
We are not done.
So we are looking at something.
whatever we do, we have a solution
Yeah.
somehow.
So what we are saying,
Indaga, Jaskani.
this Hussein Isa is technically
From Garmara.
from Garemara.
Go to is it
Go to. So we put him there.
Can you say
Because
go
the
to
Marty
Garmara?
looks overrepresented and it's not.
Can you write
Go to
Garmara?
objective.
No, it's not a problem. I'm just telling you the difficulty. Access is also an issue. For example,
He's saying they are putting a mask today.
it's not telephone only. The guy is extremely busy. Hiyo project yake si kidogo. Research nini, akona science, akona group.
That's very important.
I think he's a big plus for this process.
Yes. No, but I'm imagining
even for institutional, tapping into the institutional memory and that sharpness. He's probably the most experienced of this team.
Yes.
In terms of experience, he's the most experienced.
He also has contacts.
So he has huge pluses. Really, it is the kind of work he does is done in a place like Goto. Sio history yetu ya workshops na nini, research ya ku monitor Kanjibu. The guy studies Kanjibu.
That guy seems to be extra. He's a genius. No genius in Maratha Pakai.
Kanjibu.
Kanjibu akam nami Kanjibu.
Standing touch. Impact of temperature on Kanjibu.
Unajua mimi sikuwa hata nimenotice. Nani anaenda? Daktari.
Abe, amwari ndizo mkanjira.
So mpaka Scorpio.
Mami, are you happy with us?
Yeah.
You don't look happy.
No, not.
Or you have switched?
Not with you, but with the
With me?
process.
No, I'm saying with us.
Yeah, I'm happy with.
Not with us. You're happy with the result.
Well, you are the.
You are the